Poverty has made a covenant with you, she'd say. When you have tasted wealth, power, and love, only to lose it all in the blink of an eye, how far would you go to get it all back? You're watching African Tales Magic, bringing timeless African tales to your screen. Hit that subscribe button and never miss a story. Thank you. There was a boy named Kayode. He came from a wealthy home, and his parents gave him everything he desired. He was so spoiled and overpampered. His best friend, Olajide, on the other hand, was the direct opposite of him. During their university days, while others, including Olajide, was reading and preparing for their exams and classes, Kayode partied with a nonchalant attitude towards his academics. One evening, after Kayode missed an important exam to attend a yacht party, Olajide confronted him in their shared hostel room. "Kay, you're throwing away your future," Olajide said, his voice heavy with concern. "You can't keep living like this." Kayode sprawled on his bed with a hangover, smirked and replied, "Relax, Jide. Life is for living, no stressing. I've got everything under control." Olajide shook his head, his heart heavy, knowing his word fell on deaf ears. Kayode's parents later passed away in a tragic car accident. The weight of their loss was overshadowed by the vast inheritance they left him. Mansions, cars, and a hefty bank account were now his. No one to rein him in. Kayode's recklessness hit a new height and he became very wild. He had a girlfriend named Kemisola, whom he spoiled silly, taking her shopping all the time. Kayode clubbed at every opportunity and gambled. He was called the big boy in town, popularly known everywhere as K Baba. Family members kept calling Kayode out on his financial mismanagement, but he refused to listen. Kayode's life as K Baba was a whirlwind of extravagance. He threw lavish party at the most exclusive clubs where bottles of champagne flow like water, and his entourage grew larger with every event. His wardrobe was a collection of designer clothes, and his wrists sparkled with watches that cost much more than most people's annual rent. Kemisola, always by his side, reveled in attention, her arms laden with shopping bags from high-end boutiques. Kayode's reputation preceded him. Club owners welcomed him with open arms, and strangers whispered his alias in awe. Yet, beneath the glaze, there was a growing unease among those who cared about him. His gambling habit, once a casual pastime, turned into an obsession. Nights at the casino saw him betting millions on a single hand, his laughter echoing as he won or lost fortunes. "K Baba never loses," he'd shout, tossing chips onto the table. But losses began to pile up and his bank account dwindled faster than he realized. Then came the fateful day. An agent, sharply dressed with a silver tongue, approached him at a high-stake poker game. "I have a business opportunity that will make you richer than you ever dreamed," the agent said, sliding a glossy brochure across the table. It promised a tenfold return on investment through a foolproof real estate venture. Kayode, dazzled by the prospects and desperate to replenish the shrinking funds, didn't hesitate. He liquidated his assets, sold his parents' properties, and even used his mansion as collateral for a loan. "This is my comeback," he told Kemisola, who clapped excitingly, already envisioning more shopping sprees. The scam was swift and brutal. The agents vanished. The company was a shell, and Kayode was left with nothing. Creditors seized his mansion, his cars repossessed, and his bank account was frozen. Kayode, once the toast of the town, was now homeless, sleeping on the couches of acquaintances who pitied him. Kemisola's attitude shifted overnight. Where she once killed with affection, she now stared, her words cutting like knives. "You are useless now, Kayode," she spat during one argument. "Go hustle like other men. I can't be with a broke guy." Her insult stung, reminding him of the days it showered her with gifts. It felt like a shadow of his former self, the weight of his fall crushing his spirit. One humid afternoon, lost in thoughts of his ruined life, Kayode wandered the bustling market streets. His mind replayed his mistakes, every reckless bet, every ignored warning. Distracted, he collided with a trader carrying a tray of eggs. The tray crashed to the ground, eggs shattering in a messy splatter. The trader, a middle-aged woman with fire in her eyes, grabbed his shirt, shouting, "You foolish boy! You will pay for this!" A crowd gathered, some laughing, others jeering. Kayode, humiliated, had no money to offer. Just then, a familiar voice cut through the chaos. "What's going on here?" It was Olajide, his old friend, stepping forward with a calm authority. Olajide's eyes widened when he saw Kayode, now gaunt and disabled. Without hesitation, he paid the trader for her loss, silencing her complaints. The crowd dispersed and Olajide pulled Kayode aside. "Kay, what happened to you?" he asked. Concern etched on his face. They went to a nearby restaurant where Kayode poured out his story. The scam, the loss, Kemisola's cruelty. Olajide listened quietly, his heart aching for his friend. "You are not alone, Kay," he said. "I will help you get back on your feet." True to his word, Olajide became Kayode's lifeline. He paid for Kayode's meals, covered his rent for a tiny room, and even helped him secure a job as a bartender at a local lounge. The work was grueling, a far cry from the VIP lifestyle Kayode once lived, but it kept him afloat. Kemisola, however, remained a thorn in his side. Her demand for money never ceased, and when he couldn't provide, she mocked him mercilessly. "Poverty has made a covenant with you," she'd say, her words like daggers. Each insult reminded Kayode of the days he lavished her with gifts, and the contrast left him bitter. At the lounge, Kayode noticed the regular name, Abbas, a charismatic man who commanded the VIP session. Abbas arrived in luxury cars, surrounded by women and tossing money around. His lifestyle mirrored Kayode's past, an envy gnawed at Kayode's heart. One night, desperate to reconnect with that world, Kayode approached the VIP session. The guards blocked him, sneering at his uniform. But Abbas, watching from his table, signaled for them to let him through. Kayode, nervous but hopeful, shared a story. His rise as K-Baba, his fall, and his longing to reclaim his status. Abbas listened intently, his eyes gleaming with interest. "I can help you, Kayode," he said. "Meet me Friday, 8 p.m. at the old warehouse on Roland Street. Come alone." Before we dive back in, make sure to subscribe to African Tales Magic. More powerful tales await. Now let's return back to the story. Friday came, and Kayode's nerves were on edge. He arrived at the warehouse where Abbas waited in a sleek black SUV. Kayode got in, and before he could speak, two men in the back seat grabbed him, blindfolding him tightly. Panic surged through him, but Abbas' voice cut through. "Don't be scared, K-Baba. You want to be rich again, don't you?" Kayode nodded, his heart racing. The car sped through the city, the sound of horns and street vendors muffled by the blindfold. When it stopped, he was led into a building, the air thick with great silence. Ordered to kneel, he obeyed, trembling. The blindfold was removed, and Kayode found himself surrounded by men in red robes, their faces shadowed. "What do you want?" one demanded, his voice like thunder. Kayode's voice shook as he replied, "I want to be rich. I'm tired of suffering. I've tried everything to make it in life. I barely survive. My best friend feeds me. My girlfriend mocks me at every opportunity. I am tired, and I want to be somebody too." The men laughed, a chilling sound that echoed in the room. Are you willing to do what it takes to be rich? One man asked. Desperate, Kayode said, yes. They asked about his parents, and he explained they died years ago. Then they asked who was closest to him now. I have two people close to me at the moment. My girlfriend and Olajide, my best friend, he said. One of the men leaned forward. You will have to sacrifice one of them to gain wealth. Kayode's heart stopped. No, I can't. I don't want blood in my hands. I can't, please, he shouted. Are you saying you cannot do this? The man pressed. Yes, Kayode insisted. The leader's voice turned cold. You're already in a position where you can't turn back. You know our secrets. Choose one person before 8 a.m. tomorrow or you will die. Kayode's eyes widened in horror. What will happen to the person I choose? He asked, trembling. He or she will be inflicted with madness, and as the madness persists, your wealth increases, came the reply. Blindfolded again, Kayode was driven back to the city and dropped off. Abba's voice was firm. Kayode, you have until 8 a.m. tomorrow to pick someone. Meet me here 7 a.m. to convey you to the Great One. Kayode nodded, his mind reeling, and stumbled home. In his tiny room, he sat on the creaky bed, the weight of the decision crushing him. Why am I even thinking about this? He muttered. Olajide is not an option. That guy has been nothing but an angel sent to me. I hope to repay him in good. He's like a brother I never had. But Kemisola, she's been nothing short of a devil, always shaming me at every opportunity. I've known no peace since my condition changed. She's such an ingrate. I'm definitely picking Kemisola. Relief washed over him and he fell into a restless sleep. The next morning, Kayode woke with a start, the deadline looming. As he prepared to meet Abbas, Kemisola burst into the room. Kayode, there's something very important I need to tell you, she said urgently. Can it wait? I'm in a hurry, he replied, his mind elsewhere. No, it can't, she insisted. I haven't been feeling well lately and went for a test yesterday. Kayode, I'm 6 weeks pregnant. I'm carrying your baby. What? Kayode shouted, his world tilting. Before he could process her words, his phone rang. It was Abbas. He bolted out, leaving Kemisola confused and hot. What's wrong with him? She thought. On the way to the meeting spot, Kayode's mind was a storm. Kemisola's pregnancy changed everything. Could he sacrifice the mother of his child? But Olajide, his brother in all but blood, has been his rock. The thought of betraying him was unbearable, yet the fear of death and the law of wealth gnawed at him. He arrived at the spot where Abbas waited. Blindfolded once more, he was taken to the ritual site. When the blindfold was removed, the men in robes stood before him, their presence menacing. The leader spoke. I believe by now you have decided who you have chosen. Kayode looked down, speechless, his heart pounding. Have you made your decision? The man demanded louder. Kayode stammered. Yes, I have. Who? Another man asked. Kayode, looking down and shaking, remained silent. I said who? The man demanded again. Kayode looked up and said, Olajide. Speak louder, another man said angrily. I sacrificed my best friend, Olajide, Kayode said audibly. A man who once had everything, wealth, love, and a future carved in gold, lost it all in the blink of an eye. Stripped of hope and crushed by loss, Kayode stood at the edge of despair. Then came a stranger, cloaked in shadows, whispering promises of restoration. But the cost? A life taken in cold blood. And in a moment of darkness, Kayode made his choice. He would sacrifice his own friend. Now the deal is sealed. The clock is ticking, and fate is closing in. Will Kayode rise from the ashes or be consumed by the very evil he embraced? Stay tuned for the concluding parts of this tale, where trust is shattered and the price of desperation is finally paid.